Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. These were some private comparison tests for snow mods for Skyrim modding on PS4. I decided to edit into a video and upload for you guys. This is currently vanilla snow that you're seeing. The only thing that might be affecting it is my lighting rig. Also, you're seeing the mod Real Roads, which is active for all the tests, and the snow mods were placed after Real Roads. So one thing to keep in mind with the first swipe that you're going to see is that the change to the snow texture will be completely different from what you're seeing here. This is the mod Cathedral Snow PS4 by DR.Jacopo, which was uploaded to PlayStation by the mod author Mors-Umbra, and I'm going to be shortening this just to Cathedral Snow from now on. So besides the fact that the texture of the snow is completely different, as you can see there, it's also much wider looking than it was before. But a couple of things that I want to take to note before we switch to the next snow mod is the rock that is close to us right here, as well as what I believe might be a modded structure over there, because I have a mod that adds in structures like that. You'll see both currently have snow on them. Oddly enough, that will be removed by the next mod, as well as the road will be completely covered up, and that is by the mod Vanaheimr Snow Upgrade Variant-1-PS4. This was uploaded to PlayStation by the mod author LightOfTheNorth, and I'm probably not saying its name right, but I'll be calling it Vanaheimr Snow from now on. And as you can see, between the three comparisons, this is definitely the whitest snow that we have, so much so to the point that it actually is losing the detailing of the snow texture. You can't really see that here. Now I did test if that could be because of the lighting conditions, because these tests were all set up under the exact same time of day, under the same weather conditions, which is a bright, clear, sunny day. So I did test that a little bit later to see if we could get some of that detailing back, if maybe it was just the light affecting it. Also, you will notice that the road has been completely covered up by this mod, so you can't see it, and at least in the areas that I tested, it was pretty much like this everywhere. So I don't know if it would be this way though for all of the road in these areas, or just areas that I tested. And then finally, you'll notice that for whatever reason, Vanaheimr has completely removed, it seems, the snow texture off of the rock and the structure there, as it was there with the previous two, Vanilla and Cathedral. So this is the area that I had set up, kind of has some shadowing. I wanted to see when we would get to Vanaheimr, if we would get any of the snow texture detailing back. This is currently, of course, vanilla snow. And one thing to note is that kind of like gravelly looking area where the snow is kind of blown away and you can see little traces of ground there, which will almost be completely lost when I re-enable Cathedral Snow. As you can see here, that there's a little bit of ground still hinted at closer to the camera, and a little bit by the gravel, but nowhere near like there was in vanilla. And just like last time, the snow is much whiter looking than the vanilla snow and has completely different texture to it. And then finally, switching back over to Vanaheimr Snow, you'll see that once again, in this area as well, this is clearly the brightest of the three comparison tests. And it looks like you do get a little bit of detailing of the snow for this mod, kinda there in the shady area, so depending under different lighting conditions, but still nowhere near the amount of the texture of the snow that you can see with Cathedral, or I'd say even with Vanilla. But if you're looking for a completely white out version of snow, then this might be the mod for you. You'll also notice that we now have a little bit of the ground visible again by the gravel there and stuff that was removed with Cathedral Snow. Next up, I want to set up some comparison tests to how it might look using different mods for like snowy mountain areas or snowy cliffs. So this is currently the vanilla snow that you are once again seeing, and the road is a little bit visible right there. This is Cathedral Snow in this area. Again, you can see whiter looking snow with a completely different texture. The road is still as visible as it was in vanilla. One interesting thing to note is that Cathedral looks like added in a little bit of detailing to the cliffside right here. I don't believe that is shadowing, as again these are all set up at the exact same time of day. So I do believe that is detailing added by the mod. It was only there for Cathedral though, it was not in vanilla, and it was not here with Vanaheimr Snow. Vanaheimr, of course, is definitely the widest, also completely covering up the road this time, so again, you cannot see it at all. Also, the rocks, again, to me, look like the snow texture was removed. It could just be a little bit darker, but I only ever noticed this with Vanaheimr Snow, and I don't notice it with the other two, and they are all set up with testing exactly the same way. Final shots that I set up for comparison test was here. I wanted to see how the mods would change up snow, like on the buildings, on the roofs, on the steps, see if it would match the ground. This is vanilla, as always, starting off as a base. Then switching over to Cathedral. One thing you'll notice right away, oddly enough, is that Cathedral removed the snow on the steps. Not exactly certain why it did that. Also, the snow on the ground isn't as big a change as it had been with Cathedral in previous areas. It is a little bit brighter looking, but overall the texture looks about the same to me. And also the buildings back there, the snow on their roofs, much darker. And I did take into account that it could have been possibly random sunlight position from loading in, but I'm loading in under the same conditions each time, and you'll notice the shadows in the other areas are in the same position, so if the sunlight was in a different area to be casting shadows back there, I would think that those shadows would also be different, and they're not. So I think it's Cathedral, for the fact that when I switched then to Vanaheimr, you'll notice that that area is once again much brighter looking, and it's the exact same conditions for all three tests. You may also notice that the snow has been added back to the steps. Also, due to the extreme brightness of the snow added by this mod, there's a pretty big difference between the snow on the ground and the stonework on the ground that you see there, and the color difference that we didn't really see with the other two mods. So, anyways, I hope that these comparison tests helped you out if you were wanting to see the difference between these two snows and what one might suit you in your game, or if you just prefer to stick to vanilla versus these two particular mods. In any case, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. And, you know, I just noticed something. I don't know if it's coming through on your screen, but doesn't the snow look kind of yellow right there? It's almost as if while I was in and out of here switching these on and off, a guard came over and decided to take a